Hi guys, and welcome to your weekly horoscope. This is for Monday the 23rd of August going through until Sunday the 29th of August 2021. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm going to give you a rundown of what the planets are doing this week, each day, and what relationships they form with one another. And the reason I do that is because the planets create a certain type of environment, a certain type of vibration, and by aligning yourself with those vibrations, you can really benefit and achieve things quite easily, and you can avoid some of the pitfalls. And that's what I try and do with these weekly horoscopes, which are for all signs of the zodiac. They're for everyone who watches. I look at the planets and the luminaries in essence and see what they're doing and how that's likely to affect all of us down here, because it does create a certain type of atmosphere. So the thinking is, if you're aware of that atmosphere, then you can shift it and kind of tweak it to your advantage. So the thing I noticed this week is that there's a lot of wishful thinking going on. And it's interesting because for the majority of the week, there's wishful thinking in the sense of, oh, everything's going to turn out wonderfully and beautiful and everything's amazing, when things can actually be quite challenging. And then at the weekend, the attitude and that wishful thinking really takes a dive, and it can be, oh, everything is difficult and challenging anyway. What are the odds of this turning out in my favor? And really kind of defeatist thinking, when the weekend actually is when there's the most potential for really life-changing, terrific things to happen. So I would just say, before we even look at each day, with the week in general, it's important to maintain some sort of perspective and not to slide off into fantasy land at either extreme, like completely wishful thinking. Everything is just glorious and wonderful, and everything is terrible and hopeless. I think that the middle ground, or trying to find a middle way through that, is going to make the whole week a lot easier, and that's the first thing I would focus on. So looking at Monday, the 23rd of August, let me just take a breath. Okay. Monday, the 23rd of August, we've got Venus in Libra, and it forms it forms a trine with Saturn in Aquarius. So that's interesting because Venus is the planet of love, Saturn is the rules. Both of them are in air signs. Libra is air, so is Aquarius. And they're both concerned with other people and how certain influences don't just affect you, but they affect everyone. So Venus allows you to see that whole process as quite beautiful and workable. And Saturn in Aquarius allows you to work within the confines of what's going on and to feel like, this is okay, I can work with this. So it blinkers you in a certain way, but it also gives you direction, and it gives you a great understanding for other people and what they may be going through. The Pisces moon then opposes Mars and Mercury in Virgo, and that's where we have this discrepancy between reality and what you think reality ought to be and what you're seeing in your mind's eye. There is a bit of a distance there. And the Pisces moon also conjuncts Neptune in Pisces, so it expands your imagination and your focus on what could be and the spiritual truth of things. So that's quite important. If you feel like something in my life is really alien here, this shouldn't be happening, this doesn't fit. Like if you get a real sense of disowning a part of your life because you're so certain in spiritual truth that it ought to be different, that's often a really key inner mechanism that guides you in the right direction. If something feels totally wrong, don't ignore it. It may not suit you in your life, and it's these kind of days where the perspective, it's like a detached retina almost. It's where the distance between what's actually being seen and what's being processed is so different that you can actually realize what fits and what doesn't fit. It's a great way of looking at things again with a fresh pair of eyes, and you're really able to look at things completely differently. It's almost like you're so abstracted from it, you start to have a neutral response about things that affect you very powerfully, and that's really useful because a lot of us are very invested in our story and in our lives and what we think about the world and ourselves, and that's what kind of manifests our reality. So this is an opportunity to blast some of those things away, especially if they're not useful and helpful. The Pisces moon also sextiles Uranus and Taurus, so a change in thinking can affect a change in circumstances. So overall, you have a great appreciation for other people on Monday, And it's a fabulous opportunity to work with others and to socialize and to really engage and to have a good time. As the day goes on, you become more introspective and you still have this analytical ability with Mercury and Mars in Virgo to really break things down and to make sense of them. So it's a great time to analyze yourself and to really see where you're at. And it's a good time to work at something that includes a lot of information and where you have to pay attention and come up with meaning. So there may be a conflict between what you feel ought to be real and what's actually going on in your life. And you may feel like you're operating in some type of bubble. So if that happens, don't try and pop your bubble and kind of get grounded and face reality. Look at what you would like to be real. And that is literally wishful thinking. What would I like to be real? Okay, so it's an opportunity to engage with wishful thinking, but in a constructive way. To actually say, this is what I would like to happen, but then you paint some picture, you don't just forget about it and off we go. You actually remember this and you say, I'm going to make a real change here, and you work towards that. And that's the first step of changing your reality. So it's pretty significant starting out. Tuesday, the 24th of August, we've got the Pisces moon conjuncting Neptune in Pisces. So your dreams are really everything. It's super important what is going on within and what you feel to be true, and it's almost impossible to dismiss yourself. So if you're not, in a good place with yourself, or you don't really listen to what your feelings are, what your needs are, and you dismiss yourself, it's going to be difficult to do, and it's a really good chance to meet your own needs and to say, oh, okay, this is what this system, this unit wants. Yeah, the human body is very demanding. It wants things from you all the time. It wants to take a shower and then food and then to go on a walk and to get some fresh air and on and on and on. And it's an opportunity to learn what your specific needs are so you can meet those needs and feel better. It also sextiles Pluto and Capricorn, so this awareness of yourself can be super life-changing. Don't underestimate this. It may seem self-indulgent, but it really isn't. You're able to take care of yourself properly. The moon moves into Aries at 8:57 in the evening, based on Europe time. So there's a shift now into action. Mercury in Virgo opposes Neptune in Pisces. So it's like, what makes sense? What should I be focusing on? My dreams or reality, or where do I go with this? The Aries moon then quincunxes the sun in Virgo, and that's kind of your answer, because it says, if you've made sense of this, if it feels right, then go for it. Please do, act, make it happen. So it's an extension of Monday, because your thinking really does turn magical on Tuesday, and that you start to have this real certainty and expectation of what your life ought to be and the way you want it to go. It's an opportunity to really see that and to work at it in future. If you see that and you immediately go into self-pity and say, oh, nothing ever has worked out for me and I give up, then that's not the point of this. It's not meant to discourage you. It's just meant to give you a reality check, a kind of time out to say, is this really working for you? Or do you want to rearrange things? And if that's hard, then ask for help. Say, universe, you're giving me guidance so that I can change my life, but I'm terrified. I can't even manage the existing circumstances. Please help me. And you will get help. It gives you, ultimately, this shouldn't be frightening. It should be really encouraging, because it gives you an opportunity to find out what it is you want to do. So if you feel like you've been searching for a life purpose, Tuesday is really it, where that distance between reality and perception is so great that you're able to see through the cracks and to really get meaning from that. So if you are motivated to change, fab. If you're frustrated and scared, then turn that frustration and fear into motivation and allow it to push you into doing things differently. Because that's what this is a chance to do. So you don't have to think yourself healthy and well and wonderful. You just do things which are going to grow into wonderful circumstances and opportunities. On Wednesday, the 25th, we've got the Aries moon conjuncting Chiron in Aries. So it's kind of more about you now. What about me and my feelings? It opposes Venus in Libra. So I'm less inclined to look at things in your way. I'm more inclined to look at things from my perspective, because that's important too. It sextiles Saturn in Aquarius, so there is still a good connection with other people and their needs and what's going on. And it quincunxes Mars in Virgo. So you are understanding, but the focus is, it's almost like you've done so much research over the last few days that you actually want to get on with it now. You have a sense of being restless and kind of antsy. Let's get things moving. But what's interesting is that on Wednesday, I think you'll also rely heavily on the support of other people. And if you overdo that, like if you try and bulldoze other people with your agenda and what you want to do, there may be conflict. So try not to go to the other extreme in terms of being really bossy and demanding. There is the potential with Saturn in Aquarius to really do some good teamwork, or to socialize, or to work as a group and brainstorm, to go out. Any of that stuff is fun. Like spending time with other people on Wednesday is good. So just try and manage your expectations of other people. I think that's the main thing to watch out for. And give yourself the opportunity to do fun things, but don't make it solely dependent on the participation of other people. Like if my 5 friends turn up, then I can go to Alton Towers, and if they don't turn up, I have to stay home and cry. Like plan things where you have a backup and where you do want to do things with other people, but if 1 or 2 people can't make it, it's not the end of the world. So don't set yourself up for a major disappointment like that, and be flexible. If you do want to do things independently, it's a great day to meet new people and to chat and to do something where other people are involved and to get into a conversation. It's really nice to open up to other people. There's a good vibe between you and others. So if you do want to expand your network or meet new people, Wednesday is a good day to do that. On Thursday, the 26th, we have Venus in Libra now opposing Chiron in Aries. And it's really, there's more friction now. Do I want to really nurture and take care of other people and see the best in other people, or do I want to make my own life more beautiful? And I think Wednesday and Thursday are about the focus being on you. And the wishful thinking is useful in the sense of, this is what I could do with my life, which you did Monday, Tuesday, and now Wednesday, Thursday are about implementing that. So if someone is sucking all your time and energy, just make sure you try and manage that to a certain extent, that you can focus on doing your own thing. The Aries moon squares Pluto and Capricorn, so anything that you work on today can be earth-shattering and life-changing. So you do have a great chance here to look at your purpose and what you're kind of creating in your everyday experience. Quincunxes Mercury in Virgo, so you're likely to see things very clearly. Sextiles Jupiter in Aquarius, information is key and lucky. And by engaging with other people and sharing your plans and your ideas, things can expand and grow. Mercury in Virgo trines Pluto in Capricorn. So your own insights and your own critical analysis of things is really important, because you're likely to see the point, the reason or the cause or the problem or the final calculation, whatever it is you're looking for information-wise. It's very accessible to you on Thursday. So if you are, working on some amazing formula in chemistry, or you're trying to get the final chapter of your book together, then try on Thursday. Information comes through in a way that's crystal clear. So work and your purpose in general, whether they're linked or not, life purpose, working life purpose, vocational aptitudes, hobbies, whatever fires you up and makes you feel this is what makes life worth living, that's going to become very important to you. And you may want to seize control of your situation that you feel isn't being handled correctly by other people. So one, you're interested in doing something that fulfills you, but then if you do find that, other people are still going to be on your radar, and you're going to make sure that things are done properly, or you'll want to intervene. So you have a bit of a sense that you're getting it right and other people aren't. The tricky thing is that you are likely to get things right. So if you feel drawn to do something, then I think you can minimize the potential conflict by doing as much of the work that you want done for yourself, by yourself. If you can minimize delegating stuff and having huge expectations of other people, that's going to work in your favor. Because on Thursday, I think if certain details aren't exactly the way you want them to be, that can make the whole process stick and slow down, and you're overly critical. So if you want something doing in a very particular way, and it's going to take an hour to explain the whole process, then you might as well do it yourself, and you will have a lot less conflict. On Friday, the 27th of August, we've got the moon going into Taurus at 6:27 in the morning. Now, when the moon is in Taurus, it's more focused on the beautiful things in life, and it's kind of aligned with Venus and Libra. Both signs are ruled by Venus, planet of love and beauty and creativity. So there's a bigger focus on Friday now and going into the weekend on sensuality and the luxuries of life, the finer things, and a sense that I deserve to be comfortable and I deserve to enjoy beautiful things. The Taurus moon then trines the sun in Virgo and squares Saturn in Aquarius. So there's a great appreciation for logic and reason and following the rules. So if you've got a rebel child and you're trying to introduce that rebel child to the admissions board of an ultra-conservative private school and you want to get your child into that private school, Friday is not the best day for the interview. No, I don't think so. It's not the best day for the interview. It's about a mutual respect, and that's going to be very appealing to you. Like someone who follows the rules, who pays their bills and who lives responsibly, that's going to be very attractive. Mercury in Virgo quincunxes Jupiter in Aquarius. So this any kind of new relationship you form and there is mutual respect immediately inherent in that relationship, you just sense it, then that's something that you should really pay attention to and you should pursue in future. Because on Friday, if you do make a good connection, you can kind of expect it to be reliable and consistent and comfortable and grounded and realistic. It's something good that comes into your life. So if you do form, there's some sort of new beginning in your life on Friday, see that as a real asset that you want to treasure, because it's not going to let you down. It will lead to something good. So on Friday, your creativity soars. So does your ability to be creative and to have fun in nature and to enjoy your environment. Your relationships even out a little bit, so you have a more balanced view of things and you can have a conversation without dominating it, and you also don't have these huge expectations of other people. It's a good day for difficult conversations, closure and clarity, mutual understanding. It's not such a good day to try and make a wonderful first impression. On Saturday, the 28th of August, we've got the moon in Taurus forming a conjunction with Uranus in Taurus. So there may be some major change in your real life circumstances. This reminds me of the 8 of Wands in the tarot. It's like news coming in. It trines Pluto in Capricorn and Mars in Virgo, so something critical and really substantial is going to alter in your life. Sextiles Neptune in Pisces and quincunxes Venus in Libra. So it may seem positive or not positive, but ultimately it leads to something good in the long term. So it's important not to judge something immediately and to just go with the change, to go with the flow on Saturday. Venus in Libra quincunxes Uranus in Taurus. So something positive and loving and interesting can come into your life on Saturday, and it can really change. It can make your life feel a bit topsy-turvy and all over the place. And ultimately, I think it's a big chance for love, for new love, for the rediscovery of old love, romantic love, platonic love, love for other people, for the process, for the world, for life. So the image I'm getting is that you're probably in the middle of something on Saturday and you're going to be trying to figure things out or working on the details or worrying about details. And then just out of the blue, you'll really be surprised by some sort of arrival of someone or something that you love and adore. And it can either be a blast from the past or be someone new. But it's like the day before, it's really important to seize the moment and to see where it leads you and not to judge it, because we're in a time where it's likely that the things that are coming in aren't just flashes in the pan. They're concrete, reliable things that will build and develop in your life as you go through it. So it's a really good, positive time. I love it. And if there is a chance to take a risk on Saturday, do take the risk. And if there is a chance to have fun or to do something that's exciting, take it. It's going to really benefit you. Finally, on Sunday, the 29th of August, we've got the moon still in Taurus and it trines Pluto and Capricorn. So it may feel like things are a little bit all over the place at the weekend. And that's interesting because at the beginning of the reading, I mentioned that at the weekend, you may have a downer kind of attitude, oh, bummer. But things are actually changing for the better and they're really good. So try and keep a positive, constructive frame of mind going at the weekend, particularly because that's when there is the chance to really discover something new. But like on Saturday morning, if I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, life sucks, I hate myself so much, I'm not even going to leave the house, then you're not going to have the opportunity to meet, the man of your dreams, the tall, dark, and handsome stranger at the cafe, because you're not leaving your house. So you need to try and make an effort. I once heard some person telling a story that she was in her house just relaxing, eating pizza. It was ludicrous. It was like, yeah, I was just, slobbing out on the sofa and I had a pizza or something. And then someone knocked at the door and 2 weeks later he proposed and we're engaged and we got married. It may happen like that, but examples like that I think are misleading because the chance of Prince Charming knocking at the door while you're in your pajamas is small. I mean, it could happen. I just think that if you try and make a bit of an effort to engage, obviously your chances go up, right? I mean, it's not some great insight. It's just a fact of life. So try and make an effort at the weekend. It's important. So on Sunday, we've got the moon and Pluto, but also we've got Mercury in Virgo and a square with Jupiter in Aquarius. Then we have the moon going into Libra at 6:42 in the evening, and we have Mercury going into the Libra very late in the day and even early in the morning on Monday the 30th, okay? So on Sunday, things are maybe a little bit all over the place, upside down. You may be responding to some very different circumstances as a result of the day before. But like for instance, if you fall in love, then of course your schedule is going to be under pressure if you have to squeeze in a little date or whatever. But that's upheaval in a good way. It's not bad. It just may be time consuming. So it may feel like things are out of your control and you may want to get your bearings, but again, try and go with it because if things are out of control, they're rolling in the right direction. Ironically, it's more of a new balance you should try and get used to because something positive is alive and has come into your life and it's working its magic in your life, rather than trying to get back to some normal way of being. Embrace the new reality of your life and the things that are coming into it. So it's interesting. It's like when you're wishfully thinking, it's challenging and it's not really happening. And then when you kind of give up on the wishful thinking, then all these good things happen on the weekend. So I think something we can all do for ourselves is try and face reality and to not jump on the idealized notion train. You can if you're trying to figure out who you are and what you want. But if you're like, oh, I should be with this person, I should be in this job, and it really just demotivates you and really makes you feel like you failed, then that's taking it too far. Look at it in the way that, how does this support me and how does it encourage me to change my circumstances for the better? If you're becoming discouraged, you're trying too much. You're putting too much on yourself and it's becoming overwhelming. So put it into manageable little chunks. Yeah. And by being open-minded, the wishful thinking doesn't just have to be wishful, it can be realized, like something wonderful can come into your life. So I really think it's less is more, and the less you try and control this and the more you go through this week being proactive, the better of a chance you'll have. So don't judge a book by its cover. Just because it seems a certain way doesn't mean it will be. It's not really that clear this week. Okay, so I hope that gives you an idea of what's coming up. I hope you have a wonderful week. If you would like a personal reading with me, then please do get in touch with me via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on Book Your Reading to audio reading with me. And I use astrology in my personal readings. I take your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. And by taking that info, I can draw up your birth chart. That's a snapshot of the sky at the moment you were born, and it really tells me a great deal about you and who you are and what your purpose is and where you're going and what works and what doesn't work. So if you want to look at that, then please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. If you have any decisions to make in the future, I look at your progress chart for that and your transits. And I look at your astrocartography when we're talking about locations and where will work for you and where won't work for you. So if you have any queries, please do get in touch with me. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and share the video online. And I have been trying to change the background for a while now. I mentioned that it was temporary, so I'm sorry if you're bored with the background. I really am trying, but I'm having a much harder time of settling than I thought I would. It's taking me quite a long time, and it's been real. So I'm still in the process of settling in here. I don't know what's going on, but it's a bit of a process. So yeah, I am aware of it. So if you're like, ugh, not the pillows again, then please, yeah, bear with me. It will change. I tried to film with the balcony, but with the camera and stuff, sometimes you have to be aware of the light. And I've got 2 windows there, and the light shines on me. And it's apparently much better than sitting with your back to the light, because it puts your face in the dark. And it's little things like that. So I'll have to figure out where and how. And yeah, thanks for bearing with me. I appreciate it. That's all I wanted to say. Have an amazing week, and I'll speak to you for the daily tarot readings and the special videos I do on the new moons and the full moons, and the other little videos. So check out the channel, have a look at some of my other videos, and I'll speak to you next week.